Do I need to be on comms?
Do I need to kill the sound on this, presumably?
No, the mic thing will be fine. I'll do that over here.
Okay. No, I meant on my phone that's about to start broadcasting this event. I doubt we want that recorded.
Do you want to put it on the Instagram story as well?
Yeah, sure.
It's already live if you're on there.
Oh, is it already live?
Yeah, it's right, but I get some content.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm looking at right now, to see if anyone has any questions.
But it's not got the camera and the sound. Okay.
No, so at the moment we haven't got the camera in the sound. Also, please hold back from asking Beth to do anything for you while we're on camera.
So how are we going to hear the students?
You won't hear the students because none are here to ask any questions. So students will be able to ask a question on Instagram.
So will it be yourself?
So I'll read out the question, yeah? Is that okay? Sure. All right. At this point, no one's asking any questions. Don't worry that you have to give a long speech or anything like that. It's not required. Let me know when we're about to go live, yeah?
Yeah, we'll give you a countdown from 10.
Cool. If we can start that in 15, that would be perfect.
Sorry, mate. Use a few words, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
That is a few.
You can still come up. If it, but,
Is anyone coming in?
I don't think so.
No, I doubt it. It's Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks very official.
Yeah, it's a good setup.
We're going to go.
Julian, what's your surname? Rollins. Okay. I might just go with Julian. Is that okay? Since we're the only one person on the ticket. Zara, yeah?
Yeah.
Just in case I forget your name now.
Okay, we're going to go live in
Oh my God.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Hello and welcome to the Ravensbourne Student Union Hustings. We're here to listen to the two candidates for both the presidency of the Student Union, Zara, and the vice presidency of the Student Union, Julian, for the 2022 to 23 academic year. Thank you for joining. We're going to start with speeches from each of the candidates, after which we'll take questions either in person from the room or we'll be able to take questions on Instagram if anyone would like to put them on there now. So Zara, would you like to start?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to start off by saying just how, I guess, grateful I am to already be in this role and to have been here for 7 months already. So it really has just been my experience so far that has led me to want to be here again and just continue working with everyone. And I just feel like I've learned so much and I want to continue giving back to the community and listening to people and seeing what we can work on together. So I'm kind of reading from my manifesto, but also just from, I guess, my experience and trying to give that to you. I think so far I've done a few things that I'm really excited about and I want to continue them if I'm elected again. One of those things has been with the student reps. So I've worked to redesign and organise all the student rep content, which is their handbook, the training, where they can find all the resources and really up in that communication. So I've also set up monthly one-to-ones with student reps. So a whole week in my calendar every single month is dedicated to student reps, and that's something that I want to continue because I think it's really important to have that growing relationship and really understanding what goes on in your courses. Another one is launching the United Nations of Ravensbourne, so having that voice directly related to different countries and minority groups and seeing how we can give you the resources and give you the platform to really just see how we can tackle discrimination, how we can tackle underrepresentation, and just make your university experience so much better. And I think I've learned a lot sort of like being in the building and everyone being back, and I just think there needs to be more opportunities for your voice to be heard, and that's something that I really want to create more opportunities. It doesn't matter if you're just a student rep or part of the UNR. It's really important wherever you are within the university that your voice is heard, whether that's through suggestion boxes, coming in our office, feeling comfortable to come in our office and talk to us. connecting with us on social media. I think it's important that your voice is heard. And on important issues like how are you finding the communication? Are you getting the resources that you need? Are you feeling comfortable to be back in the building? Is level 4 your space? And what can we do to make it a more vibrant space that you want to be in with your friends and eat your lunch in? But yeah, and a big one as well is the industry and business connections. We are in such an incredible location, and we're very, very fortunate to be in London. I think for me, that's why I came here, and I think for a lot of people, that's why you came to London. So how can we grow the Ravensbourne and the work that you do in the local industry, but also in central London too? So I think there's a lot of exciting opportunities, and I'm just very excited to work with everyone to keep growing. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Zara. Julian. If you want to look at this camera, that might work best for you.
Sure. So I'm Julian Rowlands. I'm a third-year product design student, and a bit about myself. So I love helping out in my local community. For the past 6 months, I've been working I've been volunteering with one of my local charities, Care for Calais, which helps refugees. Secondly, I love traveling. I love meeting people from different cultures and different backgrounds, people who've walked different walks of life. Before I did my third year, I did a year abroad in the Netherlands. And then finally, I love sports. I've been doing martial arts from a very young age, and I currently do a lot of swimming. And if elected, I'd love to represent students and be a voice for students. And in terms of my manifesto, I'd say my 4 key policies that I'd like to focus on would be, firstly, focusing on mental health issues. Since the COVID pandemic, many students have been suffering from a number of mental health issues such as depression and anxiety, and as well as being providing pastoral support. I would also like to work more with Ravensbourne to see what other measures we can put in place to help students in that respect. And then secondly, I'd like to increase the number of clubs and societies, and increase the number of them, increase the support for them, increase promotion for them, and increase student uptake. And I think that actually leads back onto my first point about mental health issues. And I think that engaging students more in clubs and societies could help reduce a number of those mental health issues. And then my third point is internships and work placements. So as I said before, I did a year abroad and I did a work placement in the Netherlands. And I'd like to help encourage students and to take more work placements abroad and within the UK. And the way that I would do that is by working with Ravensbourne to acquire funding through schemes such as the government's Turing scheme. And then finally, I'd like to improve the connections between alumni and current students, because I think that would really help students to succeed on their courses, and also to learn from people who have gone ahead of them and know what steps to take to be more successful in gaining employment after graduating. And I'd also like to make alumni feel more connected to the Ravensbourne community after graduating. So I'd say they're my 4 key policies that I'll be focusing on. And I'd say my key theme with a number of my policies is helping Ravensbourne just to become a lot more communal, and just just making it a lot more sociable, a lot more fun, and kind of engaging students a lot in a much more just bringing people together more.
Thank you, Julian. Okay, so we have a few minutes now for anyone who would like to ask any questions to the candidates. Just as a reminder, Zara is standing for the presidency of the Students' Union for next year. Julian is standing for the vice presidency of the Student Union for next year. There is a little bit of a delay, obviously, on the Instagram Live, so we'll give everyone a minute or so to see if they have any questions they want to ask. If anyone in the room wants to ask a question, please come forward. And Joey, I think, has a mic if anyone wants to ask us anything. If anyone does want to ask a question, each candidate will have 2 minutes to respond. My assumption is, for ease, is that we would ask any question to both candidates at the same time. But if anyone's question is directed only at the presidency or the vice presidency, then please feel free to ask them directly that way. Okay. So, let's give us all, should we count down, 1 minute and see if anyone has any questions? Yes, Joey, would you like to ask a question?
My question is, obviously every student's a member of the SU in some sort of capacity, well not just some sort, in every capacity. What is the best bit about the SU for students? If there's one takeaway feature that you think, actually, for students, this is the best bit about the SU, what is it for you?
Zara, do you want to answer
Yeah,
first?
thank you. I think the best bit is just that there is so much on offer, I think, from the SU. So like even just looking for like, our native page, for example, there's just one look on there. There's months and months worth of stuff that you can get involved with. Free food, free events, course-related stuff, industry-related stuff. I just think we provide so much there for you to get involved with the community just in Ravensbourne, locally and just across London, and I think that is a brilliant, just the resource in that alone is great that everyone can access, so thank you.
And yeah, sorry to give quite a different answer, but I probably wouldn't answer it as what's good about it. I'd kind of, because like if I get elected, I would want to bring new things to the student union, and I think there are certain things that are lacking actually compared to some other universities. And yeah, as I said before, I'd like to integrate it, if possible. I'd like to see if we can integrate the student union and clubs and societies a lot more into the curriculum, if that's something that Ravensbourne can do, because I think that would actually engage students a lot more and really increase uptake in clubs and societies.
Right, thank you both. So again, I'll give it 1 minute to see if anyone wants to ask any questions. And again, you can just ask questions directly through our Instagram feed if you just want to post a comment to ask a question there. But does anyone else have a question they want to ask the candidates in the room? You may want to come forward and just speak loudly, because although the mic is picking you up, the acoustics in here are not necessarily very easy to hear people.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask what, apart from the aforementioned ideas, what did you have in mind for with regards to the mental health of students?
Thank you. Julian, would you like to answer first?
Sure. So in terms of specifics, it's something that I'd need to look a lot more into. But so in terms of the solution and the answer, I can't give you a concrete answer. But having been student rep this past year for my third year product design, I've seen that there are a number of issues, in this area and amongst other students within Ravensbourne. Such as I've noticed, because my cohort, my previous cohort graduated last year, and what I've noticed, because I took a year abroad, and what I noticed, they were a lot more sociable than my current cohort. And from talking to different people in Ravensbourne, people have been a lot less sociable. So there'd be a number of ways that I would look to try and increase that. I'd look to try to increase, engagement between, third years and first years and second years on individual courses. I'd look to increase a lot more, into, cross-departmental relations between different students, because that's one of, I'd say that's one of the best things that I've got from being in Ravensbourne. And so that's another area I'd focus on. And as I said before, increasing, making students a lot more aware of, the different clubs and societies, and increasing the number of clubs and societies, and maybe go into a bit more detail, how I would, as I said before, try to integrate that more, into, everyday, into the curriculum, if that's something that would be possible. An example would be, if possible, to get lecturers to try to promote these things as well, as opposed to it being this separate thing on level 4 that's just student union. I think that if lecturers were able to promote it, I think that would really increase the number of students participating in clubs and societies. And as I said before, you know, team sports and, you know, different clubs and societies, it gets people to socialize more, gets people getting to know each other more. You know, it reduces the number of, you know, lonely students and students suffering from depression, and, you know, so yeah, I think that's one of the ways that I would, you know, look to solve that. And I'd also look more to, you know, speak more to different students and, you know, find out, you know, what more specific the issues they're facing, and look at other ways that, you know, that can be solved if possible, you know, or helped. Yeah.
I have another quick question as well.
Well, Zara, sorry, just to hold on, Zara needs to respond to your question as well.
Right,
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, I think the first step towards like mental health now is definitely sort of, it needs to be recognised more widely by everyone, because things are not the same as they were 2 years ago, and everyone here has gone through an awful time getting to where we are now. And I think it's, rather than just going, oh, it's fine, we're back in person, like, it's not like that. People have had some seriously tough situations that they've had to deal with. And, you know, I think we're stronger together. We need our community, whether that's just in a class, whether it's just your group of friends, course-wide, you know, year-wide. We need to find opportunities to bring people together. And I think, from my experience, like, that sort of, like, you can sit and talk and share your experiences and, you know, relate with people. It helps a lot, and just like the little things. And I think we need to bring back that kind of opportunities for people to talk about it and feel that they're in a safe space. And, you know, I'd love to work more with like Julian next year as well, to see what we can do. And I think it is important to tackle the courses and to tackle how are your tutors talking to you? Do you feel supported by them? What more can we be doing? Can we be educating people more? Do you have enough resources? So it's just kind of, it's going to take a lot of effort, but I think we're definitely there to put in those steps and the hard work. But yeah, thank you.
Okay, and we have no questions on Instagram, so if you have another question, please feel free.
Yeah, so as a shorter question, say there was a pie of your policies, how big a slice would mental health be?
It depends how you define policy.
Say it was like a quarter.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, sorry not to give a simple answer, but, you know, as I said, like, if you look at a lot of my policies, you know, in my manifesto, they kind of, you know, a lot of their aim is to, you know, make Ravensbourne more communal. And the reason is because I think Ravensbourne is a lot, you know, since COVID, as Zara just said, you know, people have been a lot less communal. People have interacted with each other a lot less. And I think even before COVID, Ravensbourne was quite much less of a sociable university than a number of other universities. So I think coronavirus has just increased that a lot more. So I would say it'd be quite a big pie, but not so much that it would be like, I'm just talking about mental health. It would be more, you know, it would be behind, you know, other things, you know, there would, you know, it wouldn't, I wouldn't just be saying that, do you know what I mean? There'd be other things too, you know, yeah, that would help, that would help that, but, you know, I wouldn't be specifically saying that, so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sarah?
Strange question too.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like a similar one. I think, because my role is really mainly like academics, but seeing how people cope with they need to have the support system in place so they can have a good education and feel supported to do their work. So I think, like, similar to Julian, it's sort of like, it's definitely a key factor there, and a part of like the reason why I do the one-to-ones is so they have that person to talk to, and where can I, like, you know, I'm not what's the word, sort of like counselled in anything, or I've done training, but it's like, I know that I can refer them to the right places, and just having sometimes like a sounding board. So it's really, it's there within everything, that sort of care and the treatment to people. And I definitely think that when we do like Pride Month or Women's Month, it's always sort of like, how can we look after these communities? So I guess it's like, it is within everything. It's like, there's always like a purpose why we're doing something, but mental health is always at the heart as well. Sort of like, we're doing this because we want you to feel good, we want you to feel supported. So yeah, it's like, it's in a little bit of each, like maybe like the topping on every piece of pie. There we go.
Okay, thank you. Cheers.
I have one more question as well, if I may.
Yeah, one final question if you'd like.
You kind of answered it, to be fair, in your question, to be fair. But I was wondering if you think, how much do you think, if at all, there is a gap, like a communication gap between the senior people at the uni and the students? And if you think there is one, how do you think we could tackle that or close the gap?
Okay, Zara. Yeah. Should we change who goes first?
Yeah.
Zara, do you want to answer first?
I think that's a really, but I think it's a really good question, honestly. And I'd say, yeah, there is definitely that communication issue, and it's something that was raised in our last student parliament as well, and it's a motion that's been put forward. So it's something that we're actively working on now, and since the student parliament, every single month we have a student forum, and reps can invite people from their class as well. So we have 160 reps that are all invited to it, and it's with the Deputy Vice-Chancellor and the new Dean of Ravensbourne, and so we have that open communication every single month. We'll have a theme of the month, so we had communication, but of course you're not limited to just that. So we definitely need to tackle this by having those kind of listening ears every single month. This is what goes on, but it's also definitely within my role, it's my job to make sure that your voice is being carried all the way to the top. So I definitely, now I know more of the job over these months, I need to be present with more people to kind of carry the voice across.
How much the lecturers themselves can understand what the students themselves are going through, because sometimes students don't want to say to their lecturers, all the issues maybe they're having on their course, because at the end of the day they're marking their grades, and maybe they've got in the back of their mind, maybe the teacher could mark them badly or something. Do you know what I mean? So there are limitations with how open a student's going to be with a lecturer. So if I'm elected, I would be that person where they would, they could come to me and they could speak frankly, and they don't need to hold back, and then I could then get an accurate picture of what issues they're facing, and then and then find a solution along with the the lecturers to fix that solution, and as well as lecturers possibly other, if there are similar issues that loads of students are facing, then maybe other higher up people at the university, maybe program directors, I don't know who else, but yeah, I mean, I hope that answers the question.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, thanks a lot. Okay, do we have any other questions from everyone in the building, or any questions on Instagram? I'll give everyone 1 minute just to see whether we catch up. Although I'm going to have an interesting time judging whether or not we've actually caught up on Instagram or not. I tell you what, I'll clap my hands, and then we'll see. If we haven't got a question by the time I see that clap, we will assume that there's no more questions. So one last chance for everyone. Oh, there's the clap. All right then, so thank you so much for the time of both of the candidates. So Zara, once again, you are standing for the presidency of the Student Union. Julian, you're standing for the vice presidency of the Student Union. Remind me of the date of the election again.
So 9 a.m. On Monday the 14th of March. The vote opens until 11:59 p.m. Sunday the 20th of March.
Fantastic. So please vote, and we will see you all then.
Hello-y, I'm Joey, and this is Creative Capital. Ooh.